Hey, what's up, guys? Um, so this is just a quick late night video. I just wanted to review my trades for today. So it was an overall red day for me today. I took two trades, a winner on Tesla and a loser on AMD, and I just wanted to review those two trades. I'll start off with my loser on AMD because that was my real position or my full position. I just took a small trade on Tesla. So for AMD, um, let's just jump on the hourly time frame. And if you refer to my older videos, you can see my trading style. But I kind of go over things the same exact way every time. I look for the trend and then my supply and demand levels and trade off of that. So I look for the trend on the 1 hour. And we can see that even though we've been having a couple of bullish days, that the overall trend on most stocks is, especially tech stocks, is a downtrend. So we can see this downtrend on AMD on the 1 hour time frame. And we can see that we are now looking at a resistance level. So we can expect the stock market to take um, a kind of dip tomorrow, perhaps, just because it's hitting a possible resistance area. Anyways, back to AMD. So we have this descending trend line, and then I jump to my 30-minute time frame, or I look for my supply and demand levels um, on the 30 minutes. And we can see this right here. So I was looking for calls. I woke up a little late today, so I kind of missed this move right here. But I was looking for calls once it came into this demand zone right here. And I'll show you where I kind of went wrong. So I'll highlight this area. This is when it kind of came into our demand zone. We'll make that yellow just so we can focus on that a little bit. I'll jump to my 5 minute and turn on my moving averages. I have my 20 and 50 moving averages. So when we look at this, my trade should have been around right here. We can even jump to the 1 minute. We can see there's some consolidation here, but my trade should have been around the 67.71 range when it started to break through um, this consolidation area or this demand zone. But my entry was really late. I entered at the break of the 5 minutes. So I entered around right here at $68. And it did have a little bit move up, about 15, 16 cents, but it came right back down. And I took a small loss, or actually, it was like a decent size. It hit my stop loss near the end of the day. Um, and that's the best thing to do is to just go back, look at your entries, your exits, and see what you could have done better. And for me, I would say I should have jumped to the 1 minute time frame and waited for the breakthrough, breakout of this demand area. Um, but it was a small loss, just a 5% with our in the money contracts. And that's how all our trades should go. We should have either a big winner, a break even trade, or a small loser. We should never have big losers because we should always sell at our stop losses. So that was my first trade. And I'll review my second trade, which should have been kind of a bigger trade, or I feel like I could have done a little better with it. I was just not very focused. So I'll turn off So it was on Tesla. And what I was looking at was if we go to our regular trading hours, we can see our gaps in the charts. So Tesla had this big gap right here. And the great thing about gaps is that until they are filled, they work as a resistance level. So right about there, we can consider that resistance. Just until this is broken. Once it starts breaking through here, then it'll try to fill the gap. But until then, that's a possible resistance area. So I was looking at that, but I was also looking at this level right here because that was the low of the previous trading day. Okay. And when we look at the supply and demand levels that we get, this is a zone that it gives us, right? So we have a possible resistance area and a support area right here. We'll make that green. Let me just make it a little bigger. So we have a resistance area that is the beginning of the gap. So a resistance area, the beginning of the gap, and a support area, which is the demand area that our indicator gives us, and the bottom of the trading day prior. So now we go back to our extended trading, jump to our 5 minute, and the trade that I took was when we came down to this demand area. I seen the RSI. So it's nice to also throw in RSI sometimes. We can see that the RSI was very oversold around here. So I felt confident that we might see a move back up for Tesla, and we did, but I sold at the moving average. So as soon as we started coming close to the moving average, I sold and sacrificed about a couple more dollars here, and it was a small position. So overall, it was a red day. But reviewing my trades, I can see with AMD, my entry could have been a little better if I just entered. Um, my entry could have been a little better if I watched the breakout of the demand zone, and with Tesla, I should have waited for a rejection of the moving average, but sometimes taking profits is good, especially if it's a harder day to trade. Um, so, a couple big green days in the stock market yesterday and the day before, but we can expect a move back down because there's not a real reason we're having these big green days other than, I believe, just a bull trap or a bull trap in a bear market because inflation is still high. There hasn't been any real good news on why the market should recover. The only reason is probably because of how oversold we are. So things are just cheap. But as we can see right here, when we look at SPY, we are approaching the 20-day moving average. And it was a area of rejection in the past. Just looking at the bigger picture of things, um, just be careful because we can have a rejection. And if we look at our futures, we see the markets are so far down about 0.5%. So we'll open up tomorrow in the red if things stay the same. Okay, so that's all for today. Um, Comment down below if you have any questions or if there are any recommendations on these videos. Thank you. Turn on the post notifications if you like my analysis and my trade reviews. Take care, everybody.